test the 2025 level, which would bring it to a price of 8 and change, maybe. Maybe. Yeah. Again, just saying. Wow, look at this.
So it looks like it could go back. So, it's crossed below its 250-day moving average. From a technical perspective, in combination with the RSI lowering back to the mean, that suggests to me technically that should back up the truck a little bit.
Well, I don't know. You gotta wait and see, because it's not yet really oversold, and yet it's trending lower. I'd like to see this thing. It may get exhausted in the 20s, the RSI, and then it would be a buy. But we'll see tomorrow. We'll see over the next couple of days to see what happens.
All right. I want to look at the action in this one intraday.
Look at this. Now, the point about the Bollinger Bands is the Bollinger Bands lay out an area between the bands where it says 90 to 95% of the time the stock should be in between.
So these are the Bollinger Bands?
The yellow lines. The yellow, the top one and the bottom one, yeah.
Okay, so when it rises above the top one, sell, and when it drops below the bottom one?
Just look, and look how it rode the yellow line, but then every time it got up above it, it sold off. Got up above it. Sometimes it doesn't. So again, it's just art, not science. But here it went below and then popped dramatically. And right now we're riding it down.
So is a Bollinger Band a day trading tool more so than a long-term investment tool?
You know what? I got to tell you. You just can't use one thing. You got to use different indicators. You got to sort of figure it out for yourself. And there are no simple answer here, James. James, it's like asking me, where do we come from?
All right.
No simple answer.
Let's take a look at ECB. So this is obviously one of the most widely held companies in the cannabis space.
ACB or ABC?
ACB.
Where is it right now?
588.
What?
588.
Not today.
Yep.
Jeez.
Whoa. Let's look at the intraday action on this, because it had really sold off. And in the one-day look, okay, so there it is, flirting around its 200-day moving average. Look at how close it is to that 200-day moving average there.
Yeah, and you know,
just above it.
Yeah, we got so the RSI. Look at this thing's taken on water.
Yeah,
they all are. They all are. Not. And the more people that are, shall we say, underwater on a stock, the harder it is for it to get going without people selling and trying to recoup their. But look at now. Which one is this?
This is Aurora.
Oh. Is that right here? Why did that RSI look like it's changed here? I thought it was.
Well, because I had pulled it down to a small window. So if I take this small window, then there's the RSI at 23.21.
Okay, this thing is getting overdone to a bit, but you know the problem here is you got some selling entrenched now. Entrenched selling, it's so hard to pick a bottom. I would just.
It's scraping on the lower end of its Bollinger range.
I know. But we've seen it do that over here. Back it up a bit. You see the Bollinger.
Back it up.
I'm taking a walk. Like we've went down there below. Not much of a bounce. This thing, I don't think it can get a good rally until it does one of those through the Bollinger Band.
So it has to have a steep plunge.
Yeah, but
I thought that's what this was.
I know, except that I think now we're starting to take out.
Like you put it back in the 1 year look, and look at that is one steep little hillside.
You know what? We keep talking about. We were talking about. You know, we had a nice trend in here. Then the thing got a breach, and look at this is some serious deterioration.
Yeah,
erosion.
Right, but fundamentally, that was obviously caused by the fact that there were whole bunch of MedRelief shareholders who had a free trading stock all at once.
Sure.
I mean,
But it also, like a lot of this activity wouldn't have taken place unless this thing got a exceptionally lofty value, because you might argue it's a bit of a bubble.
They couldn't have bought a $3 billion company without a $12, $15, $16 share price, that's for sure. And that's just it. So I think the mistake, if I'm going to say this, I think that Aurora made a mistake in not demanding a tie-up, at least of the founding shareholders, the biggest shareholders in this deal. I mean, that really is a, you know, it's sort of emblematic of Terry's style. He's a wild man. He doesn't care. He doesn't care that you care that he doesn't care. He doesn't care that you care.
He's his own man.
He's a wild man. He's a wild man.
You know, just let me say that we're talking about this, and I said to myself back in here, it's done. This is not going higher. This is back in the end of 2017. That's the trouble with trying to go contrarian. And so what happens? It has one more violent spike, and then a collapse, and then another spike, double top there. I'm just saying, here I would have said, I think it's over. Boy, was I wrong. I mean,
you would have left some serious money on the table.
Exactly. Well, it's just, but you know what though?
Yeah, that's because that's the time when fundamentals can render technical analysis almost useless. When you have a wild man like Terry Booth who's going to shoot from the hip and do unpredictable things that the chart is incapable of reflecting on a look-forward basis, that's the time where you have to sort of say, okay, this is not a chart to trade on technical.
So this has gone from 10 to less than 6 here in what, a month?
Yeah.
And it's dragged the RSI from, look at this.
Yeah.
Month and a half ago it was 70 or 72, and now it's 25.
So this would be a clear buy sign.
We're getting close. We're getting close.
All right. When we come back, we're going to look at the recent press releases from Aurora and look at the fundamental business development case for Aurora. Right now, we're off to Big Sur.
Today in beautiful Big Sur, California. Big Sur is synonymous with good pot. It's been growing here in these canyons for many, many, many years and through many, many generations. And today we have the honor and privilege of standing here with Mr. Oliver Bates. Oliver Bates is a local legend. He's been growing fine buds down here for many, many years throughout the drug wars and now into the legal future. And Oliver is doing amazing things. As far as big cannabis goes, he's found a way in. Oliver, why don't you explain to us a little bit about what's going on?
Sure. Thanks for having me, and thanks, folks, for listening. So I'm from Big Sur, California, and we have an interesting view on the cannabis industry here, where we come from the cannabis industry. I'm a second generation of 3 generations operating in the cannabis industry, with a 4th on the way. So we represent quite a span of growers, and my community has been growing for over 60 years. So I represent farmers with this farmers organization that have been growing anywhere from 3 years to over 60.
And all your farmers are organic, 100%. And if I'm not mistaken, you found a way into the big cannabis market by incorporating cooperative grows in communities that are appellation grows. And that would be, for example, the Big Sur Farmers Association, which you're the president of. You're able to get a brand of Big Sur cannabis into the legal market.
Well, I'd like to say that yes, that is our feeling and vibration at the moment, but we still have ways to go. Unfortunately, as of the first of the year, the industrial cannabis industry deemed all outdoor or under the sun cannabis illegal in Monterey County and throughout the state of California. Everyone was to fence, cover up, and be in an industrial grow zone. But what we do have is a pilot program that's been accepted by the county authorities and by the politicians to move forward, an appellations project to save our appellation of origin, starting with the cultural appellation, right?
Right.
Which is me and you, the people that brought this to the industry, and they didn't realize the value till of recent. But we don't hold that against them. We're here to show them now. We're here to come out of that dark space into the light and show them what a unique and special thing they have.
That's beautiful. I'm very proud of you. And I know that you've been instrumental in bringing this pilot program into play. And now that it's about to be initiated, I understand that many big things are happening. You've been on the phone constantly, in meetings constantly with people in the industry in California. Can you tell us about some of the most latest revelations, some of the new things that are breaking?
Sure. So some of the best breaking news for us is we went from small farmers association of picketing farmers to a organized group of folks in a political action committee, and even further into fundraising and out into community education and outreach. So we reached out to our community, proposed this pilot program to the County Board of Supervisors, which is our local elected officials, and they accepted our program, which is the first of its kind in California for just outdoor Appalachian cottage and micro business farmers, and with all intent and focus on the legacy farms, which are the ones that have been here for many decades, since the 50s and 60s, and then our heritage farmers, which are folks like me and you, which are carrying on our traditions and taking them to the next level.
Right.
And also more recent developments, we're definitely, there's some exciting news on the horizon as far as our county is now ordered to draft law by the first of the year for this cottage industry program and for outdoor open grow cottage and craft industry micro businesses on the Big Sur coast in Carmel Valley, Kachawa, Jamesburg. So our Carmel Valley region is also very significant and historical. Big Sur started the practices of sensimilla, taking the males out and trimming. And all these things came from our parents' hippie culture. And many of our famous strains, like the Holy Bud, come from our friends' uncles and dads. And much like the Valley as well. All you folks smoking haze, please look up your Haze brothers and know what you're talking about when it's a haze.
You mentioned something very interesting. You mentioned Big Sur Holy Bud. Big Sur Holy Bud is a strain that's been my favorite for many, many, many years, many decades. I remember smoking it as a young man and saying, this is like nothing I've ever tasted or felt. It's quite different than your average sativa or indica, and I understand that you just procured the genetics. Now, we at our farm in Santa Cruz and in Carmel Valley are trying to cross Big Sur Holy Bud into some new strains, but now you're doing this here, for example, with these beauties around us. This is very, very exciting to me. That's a strain that's legendary in this area, and I stand corrected. I said to you all last week, it was originally an African landrace strain that was brought here, but I stand corrected. It actually came from Mexico.
From Mexico, although you weren't off base. Our generation, the 80s and the 90s, were only able to keep it alive in a way after the war on drugs. The Reagan administration just say no. They came in with the troops, they destroyed everything for 20 years worth of pot farming. Most of those people went to their logging families in Mendocino and Humboldt and helped start the Emerald Triangle, brought their genetics and their techniques with them. So the only way to keep it going was hybridization of very few seeds. And at that time, there was more world traveling going on with the surfers. And they ended up bringing in some Daga, or what might be Durban now, and they also brought some Malawis, like some of those early Malawis. So you weren't off.
Let's talk about that. The surf culture in California really carried cannabis culture into what it is today. I remember some of my friends, like Peter Davey, were growing giant plantations of cannabis up in these canyons here. And then every single Volkswagen bus in California had his weed. You know, and so now into the future, legal cannabis. I know that you're working very closely with small farmers in Santa Cruz, Mendocino, Humboldt, and all the way down San Luis Obispo and south. And all these farmers have a vested interest in the future. They've been, and I feel for them. I'm a small farmer too. And so as corporate Canada gets bigger and the small farmers want a piece of the action, and you're all going to find this very interesting. Please tell us your price per pound of production. What does it cost you to produce a pound?
Currently an expensive $40 a pound.
So he's able to
We're trying to refine that though.
He's able to produce a pound of weed at $40 right now, organically. And the biomass could be easily extracted at other facilities. He's able to work with facilities in Salinas, some of the larger fellows, like our friends at Sea Quadrant. And Tell us more interesting news that's happening here in Big Sur.
Sure. So with Big Sur, we definitely, so we started with the approach that many associations like the Cal Growers Association or some of those folks, the Santa Cruz Green Trade was really appealing to us. They put up a gigantic fight and have hundreds of pages of ordinance and what have you, you know. But what that was a fight, right? And that was kind of the wrong language. So we went through this accelerated learning where we refused to believe that we're in a fight, and we refused to treat this like development or something new. They have affected an existing industry for the last 20 years. Right. And the patient to farmer direct medicine, which created the whole industry. They wouldn't have a thing to stand on without it. And unfortunately, you know, our collectives and our retailers turned into a monster, it feels like. But, so we took it from fight to we're going to work. Let's go to work. Right. And not only that, we're going to go and do as much work as we can as a group and use all our resources, which is our community and our surfers and everywhere, you know. So we're working with, we got the great pleasure, I should say, to work with the International Cannabis Farmers Association, Kate Nevenall, Justin from Mendocino Appalachians Project. Yes. Simone from Central Coast Cannabis Council, and then Patrick Malo from Santa Cruz Green Trade. And it ran so deep in our families that there was no question of what we were protecting. And so when we took this attitude of let's go to work, we really started getting results. So since then, we've been going to work with the industry, trying to figure out ways we can work together and hopefully have a very prosperous greenhouse industrial industry and a very prosperous cottage and micro business industry craft, and have both be the best in the region. So we really hope to elevate all industries to turn our area of production into the world-class area we believe it to be, the Champagne, France, that we believe it to be. Right. And not to ramble on too much, but one great thing too is we've now reached out and heard back from and are invited by the California Department of Food and Agriculture to start a Appalachians workshop program and project for California cannabis. And it's a very unique thing and it's such a surprise to us that the state of California and the agriculture industry is even interested in that, but they see the significant value to the industry and the product and the people and the culture.
Let's talk about that for a minute, because that's very interesting. When you're talking about growing cannabis outdoors, and each elevation is so different, each canyon is so different. You know, as I've grown here for many years, I like to find the morning sun on certain canyon walls, and then the soil that we grow in comes from these eucalyptus trees and these oak trees, you know, and then we're able to add, beneficial nematodes and ladybugs and very natural things that avoid pests and avoid mold, even at these elevations with this fog. So what you're talking about is Appalachian growing. This is a unique area, like no other. But then you go to the other side of that mountain, to Carmel Valley, and it's also very unique. It is. So every little unique climate in California is different. Another thing you brought up is how the small growers can get involved. I know in Canada, a lot of the smaller farmers that have been also doing it for many years, say in British Columbia, would love to be a part of the future. And so this is very exciting for us. This is showing that it's actually happening. I'm very proud of you.
Hey, thank you. You know, all I got to say is it's through meeting people and going out there and giving it our all. So if I have any advice, it's to do it together. Yes. That's the only way we were able to accomplish this, was by going to our communities and even our most conservative members of our communities and seriously asking for their point of view and maybe a little bit of their concerns and doing our very best to address that as like honest, good, hardworking people. Because that's what we want to be now. We're sick of whatever happened. We want to be able to share this with the world now. So reach out and do it together.
Let's do it.
And go meet people. You know, go meet each other. That's very important.
Something else you mentioned a little while ago before we started this interview was that you give a lot of medicine away to patients with cancer throughout your community.
Yes.
I do the same. I find that a lot of people don't have the money to afford the medicine they need, the cannabis oil, and they're struggling with diseases. So I'm able to give them, 20, 30 grams of cannabis oil, and they're all better. And then it makes me feel good. Tell me about your experience in this.
If you, whatever you give comes back tenfold.
I believe that's true.
Yeah, and we would be nothing without it. Like I said before, is like it was built on that compassion and that care.
Yes.
And really, it was for the care for the medicine and for people's health and well-being and their psychology. I think, you know, it's one that they don't address enough, but they're starting to get into it with PTSD and maybe opioids as far as addiction. But it's that healing process that we all wanted to go through, and it's a great sacrifice that we made with a great reward in return, and it's something we are now fighting for. The industry has set out to destroy it and did a great job. But they also neglected to see that it is about the culture and it's about the people, and that it really the people, the network covers everything, right? It's all media, all industry, all walks of life, like little kids, old grandmas, corporate conservatives, farmers, fishermen, carpenters, firemen. Everybody's doing this and smoking and growing it for their health and their well-being.
Right. And this is a healthy alternative to taking opioids, to drinking liquor, to do all these things that are, you know, kind of pushed upon us. Yeah. Now we can make an educated choice if we want to smoke a joint or take a little tincture and feel better, yet heal from disease.
Yeah.
And so it's an exciting time to be alive. Yeah. I know the future's changing fast and you're a big part of it. I must say that I'm very grateful that you've invited us into your beautiful home of Big Sur, California. And we look forward to spending more time with you in the future. I'll be sure to join you on Friday night at your Big Sur Farmers Association meeting. Thank you for welcoming me into that.
Absolutely.
And all our viewers around Canada and around the world, we want to wish you a great day from Big Sur. Look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you very much.
Much love, everybody. Keep up the good work.
What'd you think of that, Ed?
I thought that was just, the scenery is breathtaking.
That's where we're going to go and grow marijuana, you and I.
Really?
Yeah. We're going down there. We're going to take some people public down there.
Big Sur.
Big Sur, with our friend Justin. Anyways, Justin B. Marshall knocks it out of the park again. That was a great video, Justin. We're loving your stuff.
Lots of energy there, I got to tell you.
Yeah.
And including the waves that are splashing against the mountains. Lots of energy there, too.
Lots of energy there, too. Yeah, so we were talking about Sokoman iron mines, actually interesting.
Right. Probably should change it to Sycoman gold. How do you say Sokoman?
Sokoman.
Sycoman?
Sokoman. Like cinnamon, except Sokoman.
SOC might have been a better...
Let's go to the 10.5. Let's go to the 3-month look. What the hell here? So just traded it most recently at 40 cents. It's now bid
40.
Bid 40. 4.7 million shares traded.
No, 39.5 back to 40. But look at that's a good reversal day today. That's how trends usually start, folks. Right here, you got a low there this morning, 32.5, and look, we've got what they call a day that's taken out the previous day's low and the previous day's high. That's usually, and whatever side that closes, that's what you want to see. Anyway, I'm biased now because I am now a shareholder.
Did you just buy stock, Ed?
I did when
Well, Justin's telling us what's going on in Big Sur. You're running around buying stock.
I had to go.
Oh boy, can you believe that? See if when
listen, I'm buying this. This is a tell to me. And I've been looking at this stuff for 400 years. I've been looking at charts.
And we mentioned, what was it, 2 weeks ago, that there was a gold market coming? Well, guess what, people? The gold market's here.
Yeah, it's going in reverse.
Well, you might think that's a little counterintuitive because gold just fell below $1,200 an ounce today. But if you look at the long-term average of the trading price in gold, and by long-term, I'm talking the 5-year window, $1,200 is towards the lower end of that. And I can assure you that there's no reason to believe that the US dollar has improved since that time. And so that's why you're seeing all this action in the gold market. The gold bugs are coming out of the woodwork.
You know what, though? I think the reason you know, talking about these currency things, I don't profess to be an expert on these profound economic matters and situations, but you know, if you get nervous, you're going to go into an arena with your money that's liquid, and the U.S. dollar is still the most liquid thing, right? Because there's more U.S. dollars. It's the biggest one.
Yeah.
And that's, people get nervous. They go to the cleanest dirty shirt.
It's because people are sheep, Ed, and they don't have an
original
thought.
Well, maybe we should call them sheeple.
Some people do.
Sheeple.
Some people do.
Bah.
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 Jeez. Jeez. Anyway.
Anyway.
Well, I'm just going to look at the gold price here.
Yeah, UK. So $5.89, Aurora's at $5.89. Just want to make reference to the fact that the Ontario government is planning to make an announcement today at 4 p.m. That is expected that they're going to announce a number of online private sale facilities and licenses. Do you know what that means? I'll bet you dollars to donuts that Doug Ford is getting ready to license illegal dispensaries in an effort to bring them into the mainstream. Because his buck of beer thing fell flat. Nobody cares about a buck of beer.
Well, when you find out it used to be $1.25, and, oh, you're going to save a quarter.
Yeah.
If you're going to save $2.
Thanks anyways.
Ooh.
Anyways, we wanted to talk about Aurora's press release today.
What was the press release? I didn't.
Okay, so the press release is multifaceted. The title was that Aurora was shipping mother plants to Denmark to populate the Aurora Nordic Phase 1, which, if you've been paying attention, is their first growing facility in Denmark, 100,000 square foot that's going to produce 8,000 kilograms per year of medical cannabis over the coming months. 51% owned by Aurora and 49% owned by Alfred Pedersen and Son. Both a Phase 1 facility and Phase 2, a 1 million square foot hybrid greenhouse facility with a cultivation capacity of more than 120,000 kilograms, have been designed by Aurora Larson Projects and will be completed to EU GMP standards incorporating leading edge technologies. Now that's okay.
It?
That's
is that the press release in a nutshell?
No, that's the opening gambit.
Now what? There's more?
Following a provisional EU GMP certification on a single shipment, as announced July 11, 2018, Aurora's new wholly owned subsidiary, MedRelief, has now received full EU GMP certification for its Markham facility. So MedRelief, Markham, is now GMP certified for export to Europe. In total, globally, there are currently only 6 EU GMP certified cannabis production facilities, 2 of which are based in Canada and belong to Aurora. Through Pedanios, Aurora also owns an EU GMP certified distribution center for medical cannabis in Germany. Now, the company is focused on introducing the Aurora Standard, a new standard in cannabis growing. I'm assuming that we're supposed to interpret that as, to emerging international markets. They go on in this press release to outline what's happening in Germany, Malta, Australia, South Africa, and Latin America. So if you think that the RSI is low and you think this thing is oversold, I look at this press release and I'm thinking, if I was not already a big shareholder, now would be probably a good time to consider it.
Well, you could be right, because the RSI is down there. It's had a big drop. At some point, this company, look, the other thing, these things, there's a lot of potential left. I don't know. You know what?
Jim Cramer from Mad Money, this is from Andrew Kittle, who's one of our regular viewers on Facebook, says that Jim Cramer from Mad Money says to find broken stocks, not companies, broken stocks, not companies. And Aurora's MedRelief acquisition temporarily broke the stock with dilution, but increased the worth of the company. By following market cap, you can see this distortion when comparing with Canopy Growth. CGC has a 40% higher market cap. Aurora should reverse, and this gap should narrow. Andrew, I think that's a very astute comment on your part.
Yeah, I get that.
And that's kind of what we've been trying to say here for a number of months now. And you know, you're right. You're right. Thank God somebody's right.
The problem.
Anyways, let's say hello to Jeff Stevens. Hello, Jeff. Mike Cook. Hello, Mike. Tom Stackleff. Hello, Tom. Fiona Fitzmaurice. Hi, Fiona. Peter Cunningham, too. Boy, oh boy. We better stop there. Bruce Margulies is here. Old friend of yours, I believe. Robert Peacock. Ian Hendry. Tim Darramond. Holy cow, I can't go through this whole list. This is incredible. Clearly, we are getting some traction here. Suzanne Garcia is in the house behind that door.
Are we getting a government press release this afternoon?
Supposedly, we're getting it as we speak.
The market's closed, I believe. Is the market closed? Yes, it's 4:01.
4:01. Let's see.
I'm going to take a look here. I'm going to take a look at a few things.
Ontario government press releases. Let's see. Has Dougie dropped the bomb? Newsroom. Da-da-da-da. Newsroom.
Survey says.
Survey says. Okay, Ontario asked the federal government to pay full cost of illegal border crossings. That was announced today at 3 p.m. That is not the announcement we are looking for.
No.
The government announcement we are looking for is actually, it says it's going to happen at 4:10. 4:10 p.m.
They should have a pickup truck named Ford 10.
Ford 10?
And you'd have the Ford 10 announcement from Premier Ford.
But shouldn't he have that kind of announcement at 4:20? Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying. All right, so let's take a look at how some of our favorite stocks did at the end of the day here. I'm going to go and pull up my...
Oh my God, look at XRO got pounded.
Did it?
Down to 41.5.
41.5?
I think I'm going to be stepping in there tomorrow.
289,000 shares traded. Did get pounded.
313. You know what? RSI said over 80. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
But now,
Sokoman traded, closed down at 40, or closed up to 40 cents, tacking on
a healthy percentage.
Yeah. Ooh, even the RJX is up to 22 cents. That's a happy development. Patriot One took it on the chin again today, down 7 cents, closing at $1.58. Apparently, there was a broker conference at Canaccord. No press release. Everybody had their penis in their hand, and next thing you know, what? No Patriot One press release?
Is that the same thing when like a dog has its tail between its legs?
No.
It puts down the tail to suppress the the aroma so other dogs won't get angry?
No. No. Anyways, Patriot One shareholders, do not let the optics. Of course, they're not going to release something at the Canaccord conference. And nobody told you that the big announcement coming was going to happen overnight. Soft, patience, people. Things are in the pipeline. They're not going to pop up overnight. So if you were a seller, a lot of people jumped ship and bailed based on the fact that no announcement was made at the Canaccord conference. To which I say, you might be a little bit sorry soon. Don't know why. Just saying. Rumors, just rumors, nothing more than rumors. We know nothing. Look at Hexo closed down 17 cents to 426. Just a continuous abdication of faith there. It's not too late to turn the Molson Hexo deal into a win. Just saying, hint, hint. Need a little corporate strategy, give us a call. We would have had you doing that the right way in the first place, but no, there we go. So accredited media signed in at 3:20. Are you accredited, Ed? The announcement is going to be at 4:10.
Well,
today.
I must be because I see my name's right in the middle of that word, accredited.
Oh, accredited. Actually,
it's in there twice.
It's accredited media. There's twice.
And then the ED again.
Embargoed.
Accredited as it twice.
And
media as it once.
Again.
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 And again.
Again and again and again.
Holy smokes.
Wow. Anyways, Ed, what did you do this weekend? I want to know.
Played some golf.
Did you? So not a lot of drinking going on, I'm assuming.
Maybe there was on the Saturday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Maybe I felt the need to...
The need. The need.
The need.
Okay, now there's some people are Ed giving forward some solid marketing ideas. Jordan Botha is acknowledging you're giving.
Thank you. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. You know, I'm sort of in marketing. What the heck?
Yeah, you are in marketing. There's some people asking us about lithium. Stefan Mueller wants to know about lithium, Orocobre. I'll tell you what's happening with lithium. What's that big brokerage firm in New York? JP Morgan. Morgan Stanley put out a report.
One of the Morgans.
Suggesting that there was going to be an oversupply of lithium in the mid-2000s as a result of all of the buildup in capacity as a result of the last boom. However, the market has unfortunately taken that at face value, and there's not going to be any excess
in the mid-2000s
lithium. Well, if you look at
when you say the mid-2000s,
mid-2020s, sorry.
Okay, so it's say 2025.
Mid-2020, that would be mid-2020. Mid-2020s.
Right.
Yeah.
7 years
Details. Anyway, so what's happened is there has been, a major investment bank who is notorious, I say, for putting out research that suits either a long or short strategy of their own interest, and thereby encouraging the lemons who fall prey to that strategy to dutifully jump off the cliff into their arms and allow them to cover their shorts or
is that
sell
the lemons
their
or the lemmings?
The lemons and the lemmings.
The lemons.
That's why they're all rolling and tumbling.
If they were cars,
they're trying to get up on the lemons.
If cars were investors, they'd be lemons.
If cars were investors, there'd be lemons. Well, that's quite possibly the case. So anyways, to answer your query, Stefan, I think that the sell-off in lithium stocks is way overdone. And I do believe that when August clears its way out of here, that you're going to start to see strength in some of the better names. Which names are those? I'm not in a position to tell you because I haven't been paying much attention to lithium public companies at this point, but there's a few good ones out there who have been caught up in the sort of paint everything with the same brush.
Well, look at just in the lithium space, the big one, Nemaska, the big Canadian one.
Yeah.
Didn't the market cap of that go from something like almost $2 billion and it's now like 600 million or something like that? Like, I was talking to Victor Cantore was
right.
But I mean, that was up to $2.25, and everybody thought it was just going to keep going up forever.
Yep.
And do they ever go up forever? Do they ever go up forever?
Do they ever go up forever? Some of them do.
Well, if there's a takeout. Usually if somebody buys them, then you get out at the top.
There, technically that's gone forever. Anyways, so John Maciosi is asking, any word from Radiant Technologies CEO? Are they interested in a segment? John, I've reached out to them several times. We have had no response, and so we have nothing to tell you on that. That's all we have to say about that. So what else you got, Ed? What else is happening today?
This was a big drop. I see the XRO got to 54.
Oh yeah,
54 in intraday, and then closed at the low. Now that's a spiky. It moved from 27 cents to 54 cents. There's a double in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then now we had this big correction. So
notice every seller in the last 10 trades is Instinet, House 13. Instinet is an automated online broker.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it sounds like it. Instinet. I'm going to look it up right now. But every single house is the same seller. So what does that tell you? Somebody is jumping ship.
Were they buying yesterday? Maybe.
No, they haven't been buying much.
I'm going to be making some due diligence.
Instinet is an institutional agency-only broker that also serves as the independent equity trading arm of its parent Nomura Group. I wonder if Instinet could be short. Who would go short on a 60-cent stock?
You know what?
Nobody. Anyways, whatever.
But I mean, the tell there was it got over 75, almost 80 on the RSI, and now it's pulled back to.
So that could be somebody managing the stock.
You know what? Just blast it down, see what comes out. You know.
Yeah, look at all the trades: 1554, 1555, right up to 1557, 58, 59. Obviously, a concerted effort to take the market lower, which is great because that's going to give us a chance to buy it back cheaper. Woohoo! Or XRO, ladies and gentlemen.
Buy more. You're implying if you're buying it back cheaper, you've sold yours.
I didn't sell mine, but I get to buy more cheaper.
Okay.
I haven't sold a single share.
Just clarifying here.
I haven't sold a single share. In fact, I'm happy to report that I was the bozo who paid the high price of the day, but I've got good news. I'm hoping to accumulate a million shares.
If you put up the chart of XRO, what's the RSI? We said it was around 72, but I think it's dropped now to 65.
Let us take a look, Edward. XRO, CNX, pulling it up, no active session. Oh, here we go. All right. Oh, look at that. It's below 63 now.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So I see.
So it's 63, above, it's still above 63. It's 63.52.
63.52. I want to see what the depth is at the end of day here because, let's see if I go to...
I probably got it here.
Market depth, time and sales. All right, so look at that. On the offer, starting at 46. So there you go. Somebody really went out of their way to knock this thing down at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Let's see what the last trades were.
You know what they're trying to do is get the offers to fill in down there.
Bid, ask.
Well, that's cool. So 46. Look at that. But still, look at that gap now.
That's okay. It should fill in.
41 to 46. Yeah, we'll fill in the morning. But that's wow. Good. So people who
look at this. So there's one offering at 46, and
yeah, that's what I'm saying. 12,000 offered at 46, 10,000 at 49 and a half, and 21. Like there's nothing between here and 99 cents. There's less than 100,000 shares.
Yeah. And we learned on Friday. 30. We learned on Friday there was a lot of people in this company when it was private at much higher prices.
Do you think this is some shareholders want us to make more money than we were already going to, and they're thereby obliging us by selling some of their stock so that we can get in cheaper?
You know what? Maybe this guy's thinking, I've been in this thing for a year. Marijuana stocks are cheap. Maybe I'm going to move out of this and put more money in marijuana.
Jim and Ed are making it very clear they're buying it. I'm going to sell them mine. They can buy mine tomorrow.
Yeah. Well,
that's great. And when are we going to have?
We got to. I think we should have a call tomorrow. But he wants me to sign. Yeah,
we were supposed to fly out there to Vancouver.
Like now?
No, tomorrow. We're supposed to have lunch with him. You don't remember this? This conversation did happen on Friday, Ed.
I felt some wind.
Fortunately, we do have two. Let's go take a look over at the Government of Ontario website and see if they have managed to make an announcement for us. Not yet. Not yet. Soft. Let's see if they're actually doing anything on their YouTube channel. That would be amazing. Live now. Here we go. Cutting to the YouTube channel. Their YouTube channel. That would be amazing. Let's see if they're actually doing anything on their YouTube. That's us. That would be amazing. Live now. To the YouTube. Here we go. Nothing happening. Where's Dougie Ford? We know he's coming. Well, Minister Mulroney and Minister Fedeli, remarks and media availability at Queen's Park. Okay, well, where is it? Nobody's there. They said 4:10 and they're late. Maybe we missed it. Is that possible? Huh. 77 subscribed now. I'll subscribe. Gotta give some other people some chance. Oh yeah, put me on the ringer too. There. Now when there's a government. Is it time, Fraser? We're on the wagon.
Yeah, no, you know.
Actually, you know what that is?
What is it?
We're going to cut to Hill Street Beverage Company was here today. We talked to Terry, who is the CEO, and he is getting ready to make cannabis-infused beverages.
Is that what that is?
That's what that is. No, there's no cannabis in there.
Is there alcohol in there?
There's no alcohol in there. It's it's de-alcoholized. Bring the bottle.
Show me the bottle.
Take it away.
Show me the bottle.
Show the bottle. Take it away.
Show me the bottle and show me the money.
Show me the money.
Oh, the hand appears.
Have you got it running?
Not yet.
Run it.
Okay, run it.
Run it.
Alcohol free.
Hey, welcome back to Midas Letter Live. My guest in this segment is Terry Donnelly. He is the CEO of Hill Street Beverage Company, trading on the TSX Venture under the, oh, I love that symbol, beer.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah.
Terry, welcome.
Thanks.
Terry,
Pleasure to be here.
I'm guessing that Hill Street Beverage Company has something to do with the beverage industry.
We absolutely do. We are.
What do we got? What do we got?
What do we got? Well, we are the world's most awarded company that focuses exclusively on alcohol-free wine and beer.
Oh, alcohol-free wine and beer.
We have won 3 world championships for our craft lager. Our draft has actually won 2 bronzes and a silver. We won a double gold for our Cabernet Sauvignon, which I actually didn't bring a sample of, but we have our Merlot. And that was won at the San Francisco International Wine Competition.
Really?
Which is the biggest wine competition in the world. There's over 4,200 wineries that compete in that competition.
Wow,
and the World Championship with beer, there's over 5,000 beer companies that compete in the World Championship of beer that happens in Atlanta. And so in the non-alcoholic segment, there's literally thousands of brands. So it's not a small little segment. It's actually the world's fastest growing beverage category in alcohol-free. And so we actually decided to take that platform of great tasting, award-winning products and evolve it for the new cannabis-infused beverage marketplace. So we're adding this new portfolio of cannabis-infused beverages to our alcohol-free products.
Wow, so you've already got global distribution on these products?
Well, no, we're distributed only in Canada. We're currently in about 4,500 stores across the country, expanding every time I talk to my head of sales. We've landed a new chain. We're getting a lot of interest because the alcohol-free segment, especially for our craft products, there's just a huge amount of demand amongst consumers to find ways for them to be able to enjoy a nice cold beer without being intoxicated, or more importantly is to be able to enjoy a nice cold beer without impacting their medication.
Okay.
And there's about 44% of the North American population that's on a prescription drug medication that's contraindicated to alcohol.
44%?
44%, and
wow.
That's U.S. federal government statistics.
Those big numbers.
Those are big numbers. There's over 450 prescription drugs that are contraindicated to alcohol.
I see.
And so far, we know of no medications that are contraindicated to cannabis. So we think there's going to be a big opportunity for people who can't drink alcohol because of a health condition to be able to get back into the adult format beverage marketplace, be it wine or beer or cocktails, with either an alcohol-free product that's actually good tasting, or a cannabis-infused product that gives them the same level of social stimulant that people who are healthy enjoy with alcohol, or something that has reduced calories. You'll notice that with our products, they're all endorsed by Weight Watchers. The wine has approximately 80% fewer calories than wine with alcohol.
Wow.
The beer is about a 60 to 70% reduction.
That's impressive.
So you can kind of have a guilt-free little, moment, delicious beverage without.
Guilt has never been an issue for me.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought we could open with a little Brut Rosé.
Sure.
This is one of my favorite products. It's literally. It's one of those things where you go, I could just sit and drink this all day.
Wow.
Because it's just such a lovely, refreshing, full-bodied, and yet, I hope you'll find when you take your first sips, most people go, well, wine without alcohol really isn't that just grape juice? And I think you'll notice the difference.
It's interesting. I have a case of rosé being delivered to my house today that is supposedly one of the better rosés on the planet this year.
So I'll just give you a little sample. And when I was doing my investor meetings, I'd always break out one of these, say, have a sip, and then we'll see if we should continue the meeting.
It smells like rosé. Wow. That's fantastic. It has no alcohol in it.
0% alcohol.
It tastes like it does have alcohol in it.
I know. That's because it's fermented rosé. Like we start with a world-class rosé, and in the process that we use to remove the alcohol has zero impact on the flavor.
Really?
And it's a very tricky process. Takes a lot of expertise and a lot of care. But it's something that we're quite proud of, the ability to be able to create something that really gives you that sophisticated, volatile, complex flavor that you would get from a great wine.
And it does have an incredible flavor profile right from the top to the bottom. I mean, the fruit, just the mouthfeel, it's just great.
Yeah.
So, amazing. That's...
Enjoy that, and I'll give you a little bit of the Chardonnay.
Boy, if I didn't know any better, I'd say I was going to have a buzz on after this, but I don't think I will.
I had one investor actually tell me, he said, I've drunk much worse tasting wines with alcohol.
And that's not something one would generally want to admit.
I know. It's, I just thought it was a funny way of thinking about it. So
that's funny.
This is a Chardonnay. These are all made from a French winery that we sourced. Vines are around 150 years old. So very old vines, very full-bodied flavor. And perfect for a nice summer day sitting on the patio. So it's another great tasting product. This is actually our best-selling product.
Is that right?
The Chardonnay. Yeah, it outsells the red about 2 to 1 and the Brut about 3 to 1.
Boy, that rosé is still at the top of my list of the ones I've tried so far.
And the nice thing is, as I mentioned, the process that we use to infuse cannabis means that the beverage that you're tasting right now is the exact taste and aroma that you'll get from the infused product that we'll be producing when those become legal.
Well, that's interesting, because I've tried a few infused beverages, and uniformly, they have not been able to eliminate the taste of that sort of floral, aromatic, oily taste of the cannabis. I mean, it's there in some respect, either very faintly or in some cases much more so than others. I have tried a cannabis-infused beer that was an excellent beer that I could not taste the cannabis in, and that was a real eye-opener.
And cannabis is a cousin of hops. So, it's actually not that difficult for you to use cannabis the way you use a hop to flavor a beer. And there's certainly people out there that are going to be making cannabis or making beer from cannabis, or infusing beer, putting the cannabis directly into the beer. Our process of infusing essentially means that we can standardize dosage very effectively. and standardize the experience very effectively by concentrating strains, by being able to very definitively measure exactly how many milligrams of CBD or THC there will be in the end beverage.
So you're partnered with Lexaria for this infusion process.
Exactly, and when we began down the path with Lexaria, we were going through a process of reviewing all of the available infusion technologies that existed, and that was one of the main reason why we chose Lexaria, was because they could deliver a product that had literally zero impact on the odor and taste. That was the #1 criteria for us. There's all kinds of companies that can take cannabis oil and make it water soluble. Or make it something that has the accelerated availability, the bioavailability and absorption that Lexaria has.
Sure.
But there was no other company that we looked at, and we looked at a lot of them, that could render the cannabis oil completely benign as an ingredient, so that our Chardonnay or our Rosé, which are very delicate, very nuanced flavors, that flavor shines through with literally zero impact from the cannabis. And that was the one main criteria that Lexaria stood in head and shoulders above anyone else that we looked at.
Sure.
And so why we chose them.
So is the price of these products, now these obviously don't contain cannabis yet, but are the price of these products competitive with other products that you'd find in grocery stores that are representative of de-alcoholized products?
Yeah, we actually price our products to compete in the segments that they're in. I mean, our craft beer is about $3 a can. This is about $8, $9 for a 6-pack for our draft beer for this product right here. And the wine is anywhere from $10 to $18 a bottle right now. And these are non-vintage table wines. So when we come out with the infused product, and this is one of the things that we're really excited about being able to do, is to be able to produce fine vintage alcohol-free infused wines.
Oh, wow.
So that's one of the things you'll notice on the label is there's no year.
Right.
Right, so that's called a non-vintage wine. And that comes from the fact that we take a single vintage varietal, so the Chardonnay of 2015, but we have to actually blend it with fresh grape juice to end up with a product the way it is. But our new advances in the dealcoholization technology allow us to actually maintain a single vintage in the bottle.
Wow.
So that there's no need to add additional grape juice at the end of the process.
Interesting. Can we try the Merlot? Because that's
sure.
For me, that's going to be a real...
absolutely.
Can I do the honors?
Well, I was going to wait until towards the end, so just let it warm up a bit. It's been in the cooler with the other products, so it's a little chilled. If you like, you can try it right now and drink it a little bit chilled.
I drink my reds at a maximum of 17, 18 degrees.
Okay, so if you want to try it while it's a little cooler, or do you want to try the beer?
I'll give it. Does it want to breathe?
Absolutely, it gets better tasting as it oxidizes.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll finish my beer.
Yeah.
But I'll pour a little bit of this.
Pour a little in, and we'll have it sit in the glass for a while.
Sure.
But you'll see, from the color and the body of the wine, that it's definitely a full-bodied Merlot.
It's actually...
and certainly has the nose.
Well, it's going to have to warm up a bit before we can really get a nose on that.
Exactly. But the Pilsner, which is our draft, is just a great summer drinking beer.
Right.
And we're extremely happy to have partnered with Prostate Cancer Canada. We're the official beverage partner of Plaid for Dad. So we have a donation from every product we sell goes to a health promotion organization. So whether it's the Canadian Liver Foundation, prostate cancer, various charities that we partnered with, MS Society, Canadian Cancer Society, the various organizations that we partnered with, who are researching issues related to alcohol. Alcohol is a toxin and does bad things in your body, whereas cannabis is actually has been widely touted as a therapeutic agent.
You're preaching to the converted
here. Exactly. Right? So what do you think of the Pilsner?
I love it. It's very refreshing.
I would say it's the perfect beer for the drive into work.
Yeah. With this we can drink and drive.
Exactly.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
How much in say 2017 of your total product portfolio did you sell?
Our numbers are filed. We did shy of 2 million.
Okay.
And it was a transition year. When I took over the company in March of 2017, it was less than $1 million in revenues. It had been operating as a private label brand for Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Oh.
And so we took over that business and basically completely transformed it. It had been operating for about 7-8 years, just kind of muddling along. The brand really didn't resonate with consumers, mostly because, you know, the logic of having Mothers Against Drunk Driving produce a wine or a beer for the designated driver makes a ton of sense. But consumers don't just buy brands logically, they buy them emotionally. And when you actually consider all of the emotional attributes of the MAD brand for the noble cause and important work that it is, it's not a celebratory social brand, which is what beverages, especially wine and beer, are. The experience of cracking a bottle of champagne lifts everyone's spirits. When you see the MAD brand, it's very serious and somber. It's the exact opposite emotional response.
Right.
And so it's one of the reasons why the brands never really took off. So when we rebranded and reinvented the company, you kind of had to press reset on everything.
Sure.
So we did that last year. We still managed to double our revenues, which was a very, very positive outcome. And we're starting to see the impact of that. We've had one major retail customer that we're in has actually ordered 4 times the product under the new brand for the holiday period.
Okay, and so what has to change? What has to change in the regulatory framework before these products can be sold legally?
Well, the infused products are written into the cannabis legalization bill to be that edibles should be available within 1 year of achieving royal assent. So we're running the business expecting that the infused products will be available in October 2019. Right now, the products themselves, so there is actually no legal creation for a cannabis-infused bottle of wine in the law. So there's no regulations on it. It doesn't exist in the law. There's no such thing in the laws around a cannabis-infused beer. So they need to create these products first from a regulatory standpoint to allow them to exist in our political and legal landscape, and then we have to figure out where they're going to be available. Personally, I see no reason in the world why a cannabis-infused beverage shouldn't be on the menu at Swiss Chalet.
That's right. They'll sell more chicken.
They'll sell more chicken. It's a safer, healthier alternative to alcohol, and with the same degree of stimulant level, with the same bioavailability, the same onset and duration as alcohol, which is what we're creating. Why wouldn't a family restaurant want to have something that's a safer and healthier alternative to the product they already carry?
Yeah.
It's still wine, still available in a bottle. We all know it's 5 servings in a bottle. We know what a beer serving looks like. We know the level of stimulant that we get when we drink one.
Okay.
So we're replicating all of that to be able to provide a true alternative to alcohol in the marketplace.
Oh, interesting. And so at this point, you've raised $4.8 million.
Yeah.
And you just recently went public?
Just recently went public.
Wow.
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago.
And so how many shares outstanding totally?
Fully diluted, there's 86 million shares. With a public float in what's not in escrow is about 30 million that's available for trading right now. So I think we've done well in the market. It's accepted us, as a relatively solid entry into the marketplace.
Yeah.
And we're excited about what the future holds. We've got a whole plan and strategy around product formulation, packaging design, sorting out the distribution and retail availability of where the products are going to be sold. But still, the goal for us is to be able to have something that you can bring to a party that fits what you're looking for in a social adult format beverage, which we think strongly is the right format. Gummies and chocolates don't really appear as an adult format that wouldn't be construed by your children as a candy.
Right.
Kids know not to drink mom and dad's wine. They know not to go into your beer. They know the difference between a beer and a soda, right?
Perfect.
So it's important that we keep to those critical identifiers from a branding and packaging standpoint.
You bet. Okay, that's a great introduction. We're going to come back to you, and I'll look forward to more samples when they're infused. But it sounds like an amazing idea and a great story, and we'll be following with interest. Thanks for joining me today.
James, absolute pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Well, what do you think? Are you going to drink some cannabis-infused wine?
This intense? This intense?
Well, let me ask you, are you still on detox if you're drinking de-alcoholized infused cannabis wine?
No, sir. That's a straight no.
That's a straight up no.
But this didn't have anything in it, did it?
That had water in it.
No, this had some, they poured something in it.
No, there's nothing in it. No, nothing.
That's what I thought.
Anyways, just for your edification out there, we were watching, while that was playing, we were watching the Ontario government website, and they have come out and said that on October 17th, they're going to launch online sales from the Ontario government. But by April 1st of next year, they're planning to roll out private stores that are not government run in Canada, in Ontario.
They have to get it right.
Then they said they have to get it right. So that's an interesting move. How much you want to bet that they're bringing on some of the illegal dispensaries who can pass some kind of test they're going to quickly set up? So we're going to have a buck of beer, as much dope as you can buy online from the government or from a non-government source. Of course, the dispensaries will still be in business.
You know how people call in on Mondays and say, I can't make it today because it just got a little crazy?
Yeah. They'll be saying that. It was like, it was so good. I was on my way to work.
And then?
I got somebody offered me a beer for $1, and then somebody handed me a vape, and boom, I was too high to get to work. What the hell?
And you can't go to work if you're high.
Because it's against the rules.
Right.
No working high. What if you're a marijuana product tester? Do you think you can go to work high?
You know, you always seem to find a real challenging question.
Well, that's my job, Ed. That's my job. Anyways, thus concludes our action for the day. Thank you all for watching. Great to see so many fantastic people here who we know and love and who we don't know and don't yet love. You're all very happy to be seen.
There's potential love.
There's potential love. If we knew you, we would love you.
Yeah.
If you knew us, you might love us.
You might not.
You might not. Anyways, lots more coming this week. We have 2 marijuana conferences in town. Ed and I will be on location with our camera crew. They just found out about that. They're going, ah! in the control room. But
you sound like that, well, I don't know what a prehistoric bird sounded like, but...
Pterodactyl?
Yeah.
No, that was more like a, whoa, whoa, and from on high. Anyways, join us again tomorrow. We'll be here at 3 o'clock. Thanks for watching.